Welcome to the Time Value Software Training video series. This lesson will demonstrate how easy it is to become a competent user of TaxInterest software. TaxInterest has been designed to accurately calculate interest and penalties on tax underpayments and overpayments based on the series of events being entered. You can use the software to determine your client's total liability to the IRS when you file a late return, or to help you accurately check IRS figures. When you launch TaxInterest, the main screen appears. This is where you enter tax, payment amounts, and the dates for your calculation. The toolbar above allows easy access to TaxInterest's powerful features. The program handles 9 different federal penalty calculations, including failure to file, failure to pay amount assessed, and accuracy-related penalties such as fraud. The program also handles hot interest rate for large corporate underpayments, and C Corp refund, which activates both the C Corp and GAT refund. Additionally, the payoff calculator, located under the Compute drop-down menu in the top bar, enables you to project a monthly payoff by specifying either a fixed term or a fixed monthly payment amount. TaxInterest automatically loads the IRS or federal interest rate table when starting a new document. To select another interest rate table, click the Tables button in the toolbar. Interest rate tables that store historical information including rates, applicable dates, and calculation methods for both underpayment and overpayment calculations are built into the program and are updated regularly, ensuring you will have the most current rates as soon as they are available for download. Individual and corporate rates are stored for most states. Once you have selected the appropriate table, you are ready to enter the information for your calculation. In our first example, we will calculate interest for an underpayment of tax using the federal interest rate table. Start by entering any client information in the name and ID fields that you want to appear on your reports. Next, click on the Event field on line 1 to see a list of available events. Most common are the tax event, which is used to calculate deficiency interest on most underpayments, and the payment event for recording taxpayers' payments and calculating refunds. Other events include deposit as bond, suspend interest, resume interest, debit, credit, IRS check, entered penalty, and motivated tax. Select the tax event and enter the date when the return was due. This is the date when the interest calculation will begin. Next, enter the net amount of the tax due and any subsequent payments on separate lines. You also have the option to add a description of the event that will appear on your report. When you have entered all your information, click the Compute button in the toolbar, and the Compute Results dialog appears, displaying the total tax and interest due. If necessary, you can change the calculation date, for instance, if a payment will be mailed. Then click Recompute, and TaxInterest will recalculate the totals. To add penalty calculations to our example, click the Penalties button in the toolbar to display the penalty selection window. Select the appropriate penalty, click the Activate Penalty checkbox, and enter the applicable information such as date the return was received by the IRS, due date with extensions, and net tax due in the penalty window. Then click OK to return to the penalty selection window. If you need to calculate more than one penalty, you can select it now. Then click Close to exit the penalty selection window. The penalty or penalties you have activated now appear at the bottom of the main screen. You can click on them to modify them. Next, click the Compute button to calculate the interest and penalty amounts. The Compute Results window now includes the amount of the calculated penalties. Interest on penalties is calculated using the same rates applicable to tax deficiencies. As a general rule, interest on the failure to file penalty and the accuracy-related penalties runs from the due date of the return with extensions. For most other penalties, interest does not start until the IRS sends the taxpayer a notice. While the Compute Results dialog is displayed, click the Report button and scroll down through the report to view the details in the Interest on Penalties section. TaxInterest software is also useful to calculate interest on an overpayment of tax. When a payment is made that exceeds the amount of tax and interest due, TaxInterest software applies the overpayment or refund rate for the calculation. Start by selecting Payment or Credit as the event on line 1 and enter the date and the net amount of the overpayment. Click the Compute button to calculate the interest on the overpayment. The interest amount will be displayed in the Compute Results window as refund interest. Note, the refund rate for C corporations is computed at 1% less than the refund rate for other taxpayers. Click on the C Corp refund button to identify the taxpayer as a corporation and check the box. The program will apply the GAT refund too. The comprehensive reports that TaxInterest produces are perfect to document your calculations for your client and are widely accepted by the IRS and taxing authorities. Simply select Print from the File menu to print, save the report as a text file, or export to Notepad. You can also export the report directly to Excel, making it easier to consolidate multiple quarters or years by copying and pasting them into a master schedule. Clicking the Reports button in the toolbar allows you to customize interest and penalty detail reports by selecting from a variety of report options. You now know the basics of using TaxInterest software. To view more training videos demonstrating the features and calculation capabilities of TaxInterest, visit the Training and Resources section of our website. Or, if you have a question about a specific calculation, contact our TaxInterest support team at info@timevalue.com or call 800-426-4741.